おはようございます。今日はお天気と季節について勉強します。So we're entering into a new topic, weather and seasons. There will be some vocab that will be familiar to you. There will also be vocab that is unfamiliar to you, and we're going to learn a bunch of kanji. So make sure you have your notebook ready to write these new words down and also to practice the kanji. じゃあ、始まります。So last year, we learned that Japanese use the weather to do small talk. In English, we usually ask people, how are you doing? What's up? What's new? As our small talk. In Japan, they use the weather. So remember that the word for weather is otenki. You can also just say tenki. Adding o just makes it more polite. So otenki, otenki. You can see up at the very top is the kanji for tenki. The first kanji, this one right here, that's 10. 10 means heaven. And then the second kanji, that's ki, and ki means spirit. It's also the word chi in Chinese, and so you might have heard like someone's chi. It's kind of like the spirit within them. So tenki is literally the spirit of the heavens. So whatever the mood is of the heavens, that's what creates the weather. Otenki. Last year we learned samui, samui, cold, samui, and atsui, atsui, hot, atsui. If you forgot those, make sure you have those in your notes. So we have samui, atsui. But what about if I want to say cool or warm? It's not samui, it's not atsui, it's somewhere in the middle area. To say cool is suzushii, suzushii. Note that suzushii is cool as in temperature or weather. It is not a person. You wouldn't call a person suzushii and mean it as a compliment. If you call a person suzushii, it kind of means that they have a cold disposition. They're not a very warm person. So you don't want to call a person suzushii and mean it as a compliment. Like in English, where I could say like, you're really cool. In Japanese, suzushii is not a compliment. For warm, the word for warm is atatakai, atatakai. Because atatakai has two tas right next to it, it often gets kind of smushed together, and instead you'll hear attakai, attakai. So you can use either one of these, atatakai or attakai, attakai. はい。そして when we're talking about the weather, we have different types of weather. One form that is very common in Washington is kumori, kumori, kumori. Kumo by itself means cloud. Some of you might also be thinking, I think it also means spider, doesn't it? Yes, kumo also means spider. So different kanji, but kumo can mean spider or cloud. And kumori is cloudy, like the weather is cloudy. Otenki wa kumori. はい、雨. We learned ame before. Ame is a very common weather around here. Ame wa rain. And we've practiced this kanji, but maybe you've forgotten it. So for ame, we start up at the top like always, and imagine this is like the top of like an umbrella, and you are holding the umbrella, and through kind of the shade of the umbrella, you have the rain droplets coming down. So, ame, ame. 次は雪。 yuki, snow, yuki. And yuki is also a very common name for girls. And you'll notice that the kanji for yuki has ame within it. And that's on purpose. A lot of these weather words are going to use the ame kanji, and you'll notice it in words that we're going to see, probably not in this lesson, but in other lessons. So for yuki, you're going to start just like you were writing ame, but this time we're going to squish it down because we need to have some room for that katakana yo down at the bottom. So we squish it, we don't make it quite as big, and then we do katakana yo. Yuki, yuki. And because I'm drawing on a computer, I went over and I crossed through my line, and it's hard for me to like do that perfectly, but you should not go through the line. I'll try to do that again. That's okay. If there's a little gap, that's all right, but it shouldn't go through the line like I had. Right? Now, if you want to say it is raining or it is snowing, that's ga. Ga is our particle, and then furimasu. Furimasu means it falls down from the sky. You can't just say furimasu. It doesn't make sense. You have to mention what is falling. So you have to say ame ga furimasu, it's raining, or yuki ga furimasu, it's snowing. Right, our next word is hare. Hare. Hare is fine or sunny weather. And the hare kanji, on the left, we have the sun because it's sunny weather. And then on the right, that's the kanji for blue, ao. So we have the sun in a blue sky, and that's telling us it is sunny weather. So for blue, it's kind of like we are writing the kanji for dirt, but we give it one more extra line, and then we do the kanji for the moon. それは晴れ、晴れ。Next is 風、風。風 is wind, and if you wanted to say it's windy, you might say 風が強い. And 強い means strong. So you're saying the wind is strong, and it's windy outside. 風が強い. So for the kaze kanji, we're going to start on the left side, and we're going to go down. And then we go from the top, we go across and down, and we have a hook. And this time our hook is going to go towards the right, which is not a very common thing that happens in kanji. And then we're going to work on what's actually in the middle. So we have our diagonal line, we have a box, and then a line that goes through the box, and then another diagonal line, and an intersecting line. So kaze, kaze. This part by itself is mushi. Mushi means bug. So you can imagine it's a bug that gets caught in the wind and it's flying around. Right? And do means degrees. So when we're talking about the weather, we're going to be talking about how warm or cold is it. So you would use do after the number. Like 今日は60度です. Today is 60 degrees. 今日は60度です. So for do, we're going to start up at the very top. We have our little flick. And then we're going to go across and then down on the left side. And then we work on what's in the middle. So we go across, across, down, and then the X. Do, do. And remember, we're going to next week be kind of looking at weather forecasts and things like that. And remember that Japanese uses Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So you're going to see weather about like 16 degrees, and you're going to think that's very, very cold. It's not as cold as you think. We'll go more over that next week. Right, and we're almost to the end. We have a few season words to go over. So haru, haru, haru is spring, spring, haru. And for haru, we're going to have 3 lines going across. And then on the left side, we go down through them all. But on the right side, we don't go up to the very first line. We start at the second line, we go down, and then we have the sun kanji. Haru, haru. Next is natsu, natsu. Natsu wa summer, natsu. So for the natsu kanji, we have a line that goes straight across, and then a short diagonal line, me, as in I, and then that X symbol. Natsu, natsu. Aki, aki. I really like the kanji for aki. I think it's easy to remember because it's using parts that we have already learned from last year. So you'll recognize the left side of aki is the left side of watashi, and it represents a tree. And then the right side of aki is fire, because in the fall, it kind of looks like the trees are on fire because of the leaves that have changed to golds and reds and oranges, so it looks like fire. So they have the kanji for aki with tree and fire combined. Aki. And then last is fuyu. Fuyu. Fuyu wa winter. And for fuyu, we have that X symbol, the same symbol that we had at the bottom of natsu, summer. And this symbol by itself kind of means like the end of something. So think of summer as the end of the warm seasons, and then winter is the end of the cold seasons. And because it snows in winter, we're going to add some precipitation. So we have 2 little flicks down at the very bottom. Fuyu, fuyu. Iいですか? じゃあ、the last thing we have to go over today is a 早口言葉, a tongue twister. This is a really going to work your ah sounds. It means because it wasn't warm, Tanaka had to work. So I'm going to go over it slowly first, and then we'll go a little bit faster. And then in the next slide, I will show you the Romanji, but people generally tell me the Romanji doesn't help them super much because the letters all start to blur together. So you might find that it's easier to actually read the hiragana version. So we have, let's just go over it first. 暖かくなかった、暖かくなかった。暖かくなかった means it wasn't warm. 暖かくなかった. We'll recognize the word 暖か, and that is warm. 暖かく, and remember last semester we learned kunai makes it negative. So we have 暖かくない, and that's not warm. And then we're going to be learning this remainder of the year, this nakata, which is past negative tense. So atatakaku nakata, it wasn't warm. And then we have kara, because. Tanaka wa, Tanaka. And then here's our really, really big, long word that means you have to do work. Hataraka naranakata. So, 暖かくなかったから、田中は働かなければならなかった。And we will go over this grammar. We'll go over it more next year because this is a really big IB grammar, but it's really useful to say for how to say I have to do something. So, 働かなければならなかった. I had to work. いいですか? So let's take a look at the Romanji version. 暖かくなかったから田中は働かなければならなかった. So now I will challenge you to give this a practice, and I want to hear your fastest recording for this tongue twister. I'm going to upload my own recording. So let's see, since it has a timer and shows how fast you say things, let's see how fast we can say them and see if you can beat me. I've been doing this tongue twister for 6, almost 7 years now, so I kind of have an advantage, but see if you can maybe do it faster than me. Now, by Friday, you have 2 things to do. First is I would like you to upload a picture on the team's assignment for this week of a kanji fan, a kanji flashcards, or some other method that you use to practice the new kanji and vocab. Maybe for you, you just find it useful to just write them over and over and over and over again. That's fine. You can do that. If you don't know what a kanji fan is, you can contact me and I will show you a link to a video where you can make one. We've done it briefly before in another assignment. Or you can just do flashcards, something else. Don't make just a Quizlet or anything like that. I want you to practice writing them. And the best way to practice kanji is to practice physically writing them. If you have colored pencils or paint sets or whatever, you can do it that way too. All is fine. And then once again, I would love to see your fastest attempt at the tongue twister and see if you can beat me. No editing your video to speed it up. It has to be a legitimate, real life, real time attempt. All right. So, はい。じゃあ、今日はありがとうございます。またね。